All right, just to take the second phase of our talking point this morning, the same fate ticket that has been generating a lot of controversies in some quarter. We have Honorable Desmond Obo. He's a one-time vice chairman of Ego local government and one-time acting chairman Ego local government. Good to have you on board.
Thank you. Good morning.
Now, the same fate ticket has been in the front face of our polity. What is your take? Let's take it from there.
Thank you very much. Our constitution, the 1999 constitution as amended, does not abhor same fate. Rather, the constitution made it very clear that Nigeria is a secular state and it's not an official religious of one particular faith state. And for that, that makes it very open. I don't think what has generated the controversy over time has violated the constitution of our land, but morality made it clear that when you are nominating a presidential candidate, it will be fair that you make it a balanced ticket by way of looking at the other religion. Mind you, Nigeria is a religious ethnicity, so to speak, meaning there are several religions, not only the Muslim or the Christian. We have several other religions that the citizens practice. But the major religion is the Muslim and the Christian. Over time, whenever a particular party nominate a presidential candidate, what they do is to pick from the other faith in order to balance the ticket. But situations sometimes warrant where the party will go with the same faith by way of trying to win an election. That is not to say that the particular people in question, I mean the candidates and the running mate, are so tilted to one particular religion, because it behoves of them to bring out the best, considering their capability, the capacity, the commitment to Nigerian project, to ensure that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay. And the entire country, as it stands today, are more now socialized politically. A situation where the religious body are now wanting to play active role in the politics of their country, okay, which is far from what is obtainable in time past.
Okay, now you talk about bringing out the best. You talk about having the best hands. Don't you think for the presidential candidate of the APC, yeah, because I'm there, the one in the forefront of this whole dilemma now, don't you think they felt having a Muslim as a vice presidential candidate is the best for them?
Well, you know, the first political party that did their nomination or their presidential primaries was the People's Democratic Party. And that made a lot of permutations in offering for other political parties to ensure that they win those who have emerged from the PDP
primaries.
Look at it that even the other party who did their primaries first also violated their particular constitution, their party
rotational order.
Yes, but then the APC was mindful of those political permutations, ensuring that, you know, the North, they have, in terms of the numbers of states, in terms of population, in terms of landmass, they have the largest chance of determining who eventually become the president. That informed the decision why the APC now look at it, the best pair that can guarantee the party the chance of victory come the 2023. That informed the decision of Shetima. It was not particularly anchored on religion basis. And if you look at the caliber of the persons that the APC brought as the president and the vice presidential candidate, they are people who have distinguished themselves in time of need for infrastructural development, socio-economic development, and what have you. And these people have carved a niche for themselves in the areas of not religious sentimental in terms of what they have done before. We've seen the likes of Tinubu, who was the governor of Lagos State, two-term Lagos State governor, who accommodated all other faiths. And you can recall that Tinubu had a wife who is a Christian and a pastor at that, and his children are also Christian at that. So he doesn't Islamize his home, talk less of trying to now Islamize.
Are you saying that would transpire in?
And that is the apprehension of the Christian Association of Nigeria, that with this duo, the Muslim ticket, that their faith will not be recognized in the scheme of things. And we have also seen that even in Borno State, when Shettima holds sway as the governor, two-term governor, he also accommodated a lot of Christians, even people outside his own tribes and ethnicity. So that goes to show that these people will not go along to Islamize, or rather use their religion as a basis to do anything that concerns.
But honorable, there's a concern here now. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, now, they came out to reinstate their stand, that they are not in support of this bid. Now, in the advent of the election that is just few days away, don't you think that should be a major source of concern for the APC?
Well, if the Christian Association, who we chatted before now, we are not partisan, decide to be partisan or decide to have interest in who become the president of a country, Nigeria, it is a good development. But then, their apprehension is a genuine one, which now calls for concern of Nigerians, which will also enable the lawmakers to right the wrongs in the grand norm, or rather the Electoral Act, that has made it clear that your religion will not count before now. If, for example, Smart Adeyemi, Kogi's South Senator,
was pushing for the bill,
yet deem it fit to correct that oversight of the Senate, or rather the National Assembly, in amending the electoral law, making sure that Section 84 of the Electoral Act is amended and create a subsection 3 to accommodate that whenever a presidential election is being conducted in this country, if a president, for example, presidential candidate is a Christian, then the law should accommodate a Muslim to be his running mate. That apprehension will be laid to rest. And the Christian who agitated that what has been before now is not fair, they are right. But they should not cry more than profiling solution to the observed abnormalities.
So are you saying religion don't have anything to do with governance?
Ordinarily, religion is about God and your own faith. And that religion ordinarily should have been making sure, praying and putting government in prayers to ensure that they do the right thing. They ought not to be particularly partisan with the government of the land. It is of recent, like I said, in 1999, during the nascent democracy, the religious organization were far away from politics. They were even describing those in the political corridor as dirty set of people. That is why I'm very happy that they are now becoming very conscious. The political socialization has socialized them to the extent that they are beginning to realize that it is those who are in power that determine the living standard to some extent of you as a Christian or a Muslim. So for them waking up to realize the fact that until they participate in the electoral system of the land, it will be a disservice even in the house of God, that a Christian who is supposed to be a shepherd, who has a lot of members, fail to instruct their members to pray and ensure that those they voted in power done the right thing. If they fail in their responsibility, it is a clear indication that they are not ready to right the wrongs or to perfect the spiritual exercise meant for this country. It is not to organize a church that matters. It is to organize the souls that are exemplary in your church. It is when the soul is not led astray, it is when the soul is in order, that the country ordinarily will better.
So are you saying the Christian leaders now, the Christian faith, should focus on taking care of the sheep?
Of course.
And leave politics away?
And leave politics away. If they want to play politics, they have the right, by all standards, to register CAN as a political party.
But don't they have the right as citizens of the country to air their view when the city is not going well?
The reason why they should exercise such right within the ambit of their citizenship right, not as a religion.
So to you now, they are dictating?
They are dictating the pace for their followers, which ought not to be. They are dictating the pace for the Nigerians as a country, which ought not to be. Because if the agitation that I said is genuine, grow beyond this solution brought about by the proposer by Smart Adeyemi to write the oversight, which, if not corrected, it becomes a silent policy. Let me tell you this. When Pew Research Center conducted a research in 199 countries across the world, it was discovered that 13 countries are pro-Christian states. When I say pro, these are official and government-endorsed religion in that particular country. We have 27 countries who are Muslim countries. These Muslim countries are predominantly in the Middle East and North Africa countries. Whereas about 40 countries, they are neither Christian nor Muslim. And in all of these, we have countries like China, Cuba, Vietnam, who are struggling against religious politics. They make sure that they regulate the religious activities of their country. And these people are doing well. It doesn't stop them from doing well as a country.
So if you're honorable, if you're saying the Christian community, to an extent, they don't have a right to lend their voice on this same faith ticket. Just let's turn it on the flip side now. If we don't have a Christian running mate, do you think the Muslim community will just fold their arms and let it slide? Do you think so?
Please, I didn't say that they don't have a right to lend their voice to this reality.
Okay.
It is a reality. You can't do it.
We can't shy away from that.
Of which the party APC did not violate any section of our laws
by producing
a Muslim ticket.
So let's not assume
that
we don't have a Christian running mate.
Let us not look for what has not been.
Let's assume.
Let us discuss what is on ground.
Okay.
That there is a Muslim ticket,
which the Christian faith to an extent not in agreement with,
frowning out.
Yes, and it's very obvious.
What will come now is a kind of an advice to assuage their apprehension.
Advice now to which of the party?
To the Christian.
Okay.
And look, those that made it a Christian ticket, ab initio did not violate any section of the Constitution.
The Muslim ticket.
The Muslim ticket did not violate any section of the Constitution. It was as a result of political permutation and the quest to win an election in a very diverse country such as Nigeria that prompted the emergence of a Muslim ticket. And those who are also asking that it shouldn't have been, should, as a matter of urgency, talk to those who are in the House of Representatives and in the Senate.
Okay.
To, as a matter of urgency, put it in the electoral law, just like what Smart Adeyemi proposed to do, to avoid a repetition of this trend going forward. That henceforth, it should be made clear in our grand law, in our electoral law, that look, whenever you are feeding a Christian candidate, for example, as a president, a Muslim vice president should also be paired with such a presidential candidate. And that will go a long way to lay to rest all this agitation. The apprehension is that, yes, there are unofficial religious states such as Nigeria that sometimes go a long way to preferentially treat a certain religion better than the other, and in time past,
which is not supposed to strike a balance.
Supposed to be.
Okay.
Even they shouldn't stop at making sure that it is made a part of our electoral law that a Muslim president should accommodate a vice presidential candidate as a Christian. They should go a long way to make it fair that whenever a Christian emerges as a president, the Senate, House of Rep, the Senate president should also be made a Muslim, for example. While the chief judge, the CJN, should also be made a particular religion so that it will balance the religion fairly.
Okay.
Because if we are now looking at president and vice chairman under the basis of Christian and vice president, what now affects other traditional believers?
Honorable, let's leave the Christian community out of this now. Let's come back to the APC.
Okay.
Let's come back to the APC. Now, some key actors in the APC, they are not even in agreement with these same faith tickets. We've seen cases of people like Dogara one time spoke out and say he's not in support. We have so many of them like that. Even some present senators spoke against this ticket. Now, don't you think it's going to cause a crack? Don't you think it's going to bring a bridge?
Not at all.
Are you sure?
Not at all. For those who spoke out that they were not happy or they are not comfortable with the Muslim ticket, like the Dogara you mentioned, is entitled to his opinion. Is entitled to his opinion, and it is his lot now to galvanize his co-agitators who are current members of the Senate to do the needful by way of sponsoring a bill to amend that section of the Electoral Act to accommodate the Christian in such a ticket, just like what Smart Adeyemi is doing. It is, you see, we cannot continue to agonize. We should organize for a better Nigeria. We cannot continue to complain and lament. We should talk about what is the best solution to this quagmire of sort. So it is not fair if Dogara agitated that it wouldn't have been fair for a Muslim ticket and stop at that. It should move a step further to collaborate with Senator Abo, to sponsor a bill, just like what Smart Adeyemi is doing.
Senator Abo from Yola.
Yes, to sponsor a bill to ensure that the Christians are now accommodated in that manner. Because if you look, those who have been vice president before now, with for example, the president as a Muslim, has not done anything much for the Christian community. What they should be talking about is that whenever a Christian is in charge, in most cases, they favor the Muslim more than their own faith. Take the example of Goodluck Jonathan. When he was the president, majority of those that were with him are majorly Muslims.
Al-Majri schools were opened in some part of the north.
He favored more of the Muslim than his Christian faith. If we are to be very sincere and go deep into a particular religion without necessarily adopting Christianity, I am sure from what Jonathan did, he is not a true Christian. By so doing, if he was a true Christian, he would have favored the Christian more than the Muslim, because he built Al-Majri school. He did a lot of things in the north.
But the Christian community didn't see that played out in this present administration.
That is the reason why I said they are just waking up.
Okay, now you said what we should be looking at is the way out.
The way
Finally,
out,
what's the way out?
The way out is, one, thank God that Smart Adeyemi has came out with this proposal to write that silent policy, which has been operational before now. And secondly, they should go ahead to go to the Constitution itself, the grammar, to make it mandatory that whenever a Christian president is elected, the Senate president should be another faith.
Okay.
While the CJN should also be another.
So that everybody
will
be carried along.
So that everybody can be balanced.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. I'm afraid we'll be drawing the curtain here. We are joining Solomon Aino now as he takes us through the breakfast sports segment. Don't go anywhere.